Good morning. I'm Josh Del Manzo, Special Agent in Charge at the FBI Cleveland Division. As one of our many responsibilities, the FBI has the duty to root out domestic and transnational organized criminal actors that threaten the U.S. and American people through illicit cybercrime activity and the services that support them. And today's action is part of Operation Riptide, an ongoing FBI campaign targeting the criminal actors, infrastructure, and financial networks behind cybercrime, cyber-enabled crime, and fraud against the American people. Operation Riptide implements the priorities of the White House set out in President Trump's cyber strategy for America, led by Director Patel across all 56 field offices. Further, Operation Riptide is a collective effort leveraging federal coordination and international engagement to confront that harm at its source. This case underscores the tenets of the initiative. Cybercrime, cyber-enabled fraud, and predatory schemes are draining American families of their savings and preying on those least able to absorb the loss. These schemes increasingly operate through organized criminal networks and online services that support them, often reaching across borders to evade law enforcement. Criminals are always changing their tactics, and the FBI is increasingly seeing criminals move their interactions and criminal activity to the bulletproof hoster services like Mediaand. These services support criminals in hosting illicit and illegal content, not being responsive to law enforcement, in providing anonymity. And that is why the FBI investigation of Mediaand, a multi-year global investigative and law enforcement collaboration, is critical. 7 years ago, FBI Cleveland opened the case against Mediaand. Mediaand, through the darknet, was a borderless powerhouse of criminal activity that not only fueled the rise and persistence in ransomware, malware, and brute force attacks worldwide, but also a multitude of illegal acts with the capacity to inflict reputational damage and economic harm. Destroying family businesses, damaging educational institutions, and degrading hospitals victimized by cyber criminals enabled by Mediaand resources. As outlined in the 70-page document, Mediaand, an infrastructure as a service provider, allowed cyber criminals to engage in ransomware, phishing, brute force attacks, and the hosting of criminal forums and online criminal marketplaces. The FBI is focused on imposing costs and removing threats from U.S. networks. Pulling back the curtain of anonymity many of these actors hide behind, and hitting cyber criminals where it hurts, their wallets, including their virtual wallets, and seizing their domains so that they can no longer engage in nefarious activities. These are the many reasons our top adversaries, such as Russia, use cyber operations to achieve their strategic objectives, including financial gain, theft of information, influence campaigns, or preparations to disrupt our critical infrastructure. In this case, Mediaand's approach included tactics to shield clients from law enforcement, advertising their fast flux capabilities on darknet forums, utilized by ransomware threat actors and other cyber criminals, and providing infrastructure used to extort victims, attack targeted networks, perpetuate cyber criminal forums and marketplaces, while collecting proceeds from criminal activities and operating with perceived impunity. The FBI investigation shows the victims were located throughout the U.S. and across the world. In the Northern District of Ohio, victims were located in Akron, Brookfield, Canton, Cleveland, Elyria, Medina, Findlay, Solon, and Valley View. And as mentioned, at least 20 other states were also affected. International victims were located in Australia, the European Union, the United Arab Emirates, Canada, and the United Kingdom. The FBI stands firm in its commitment to identify and investigate unlawful individuals and dismantle their networks, and supporting services operating with criminal intent. International cooperation is vital to tackling the challenges posed by cyber criminals operating on the internet. The internet is not contained within a country's border or jurisdiction, so we will continue to rely on our partners overseas and law enforcement collaboration within the federal government to investigate and prosecute nefarious actors conducting illicit activity on the internet. The FBI is dedicated to eliminating transnational organized crime groups that pose the greatest threat to the national and economic security of the United States, wherever they may be operating. The FBI has found that even if key individuals in an organization are removed, the depth and financial strength of the organization often is allowed to continue. In response, the FBI targets entire organizations responsible for a variety of criminal activities. Our work is not over. Make no mistake. If you are engaging in cybercrime, together with our partners, we will identify you, we will find you, and we will investigate you. We will secure a well-prepared investigative package so that our U.S. Justice Department can leverage the appropriate consequences against the criminals and find justice for the victims.